Okay, so I was looking around the internet and I ended up finding some settings for the radio that I thought were useful. I know there's a lot of talk about how the audio doesn't sound good in the Subarus in general, but I don't have a problem with these current settings. I do admit when I first got the car and I drove it home, the whole time driving home, I was like, man, the sound just sounds off, or the sound, just not very good. So I went online, found some pictures, read a couple things on the forums, and I came across this one where there was a guy who I guess had a brother or a cousin, something like that, and he ended up making some setups for him on the equalizer here. So I just adapted those, and I made some slight adjustments but for the most part, I used the same ones that he originally made, at least three of them. So go to the sound and your equalizer here. Right now I have it on the first setup. This one is, I usually use it for just the radio. Anything that is played on the radio. I think he says something similar in his write up, but just real simple. You can just leave it on that for cruising around town. Listen to low music. Um, you know, Normal day to day type stuff. The second one, uh, it's not a whole lot different, but I do notice that when listening to music that has uh, a lot more bass from the music itself, something that's probably not as strong on the radio, or usually things like what would be on your iPod or your phone, or something you've downloaded, would sound a lot better on the second setting. Again, this is one of the settings that I got from him, from that individual off the forum, and it's really sounds good. The only I don't have aftermarket speakers or stereo, just the Harmon Kardon that comes with the Subaru in these new models. So that's about all I'm using, but I think it sounds good. I see no reason to change it after just going through the equalizer and picking out the new settings. The third one I don't use very much. I don't really think I've used it at all, to be honest. Not really sure what type of genre you'd be listening to use this setting. I think maybe he said it was more for like a rock sort of thing. Rock, maybe alternative music, I think. Um, not 100% sure though, so don't quote me on that. Um, However, the next setting on 4, I do use that quite a bit. Um, it's kind of tuned down, but I like this setting for road trips and things, because if you're listening to the one or two, on long drives or something, you might get a little bit worn out, from the bass, or worn out from heavy treble or something like that. So 4 is at a setting where you can have the volume high or low, and it's a good all around feel for all your music. You're not annoying your passengers. It's not too loud for them. You can turn it down to have a nice, have a conversation with somebody, in the car, and still be able to hear the music in the background, for the people who aren't in the conversation, or if someone's just kind of tuning out, just enjoying the music. I haven't used the fifth setting yet. It's just all normal as the car would come. So that's all I